Hello, beautiful viewer. It's Thursday, July 16th. I just received another batch of 100 broiler birds earlier today. Sorry I didn't film it when I first received them, but here is our broiler chicks. So they're settled in. We have the heat source there. It's a brooding pot. I also have a 100-watt bulb there. It does give some heat. So yeah, this is my batch that I'm gonna raise concurrently with the other batch that I've shown you prior, and I'm going to show you later in the video. Yeah, so here we have essentially when they come in, I put cardboard on the floor, so there is sawdust, and then we have cardboard on top so that to prevent them from confusing it for feed. So we do that for 3 to 4 days, and then we take it off because by then they know what feed is. The cardboard also serves as a serving plate, so we drop feed on the floor so that we basically want it to be very easy for the birds to access feed. They're very active birds, they're very playful, which is what you like to see. Yeah, so far no complaints. We have vitamin water. I put chick stat in their water, and then we drop a couple drops of liquid paraffin. That's supposed to help them with their digestive system, and I believe it also helps close their belly, something about to do with that. I'm not quite sure, but that's what the agrovet recommended. So yeah, so welcome to this journey. So it's day 3. We've introduced a couple of feeders for the chicks. The goal is to transition them from the feeding trays to feeders just because it's more hygienic. We want to avoid coccidiosis and other diseases. So as you can see there some chicks have already taken to it. We continue to administer the vitamin water and liquid paraffin up to day 3, which is today. So from tomorrow, no more liquid paraffin, but the vitamin water, we're going to continue with it till day 7. Again, you can see the broiler birds have gotten bigger. We've lost one at this point. I think it was deformed when he came from the hatchery because he wasn't able to excrete. It couldn't eat or drink, and we noticed that it's not going to the bathrooms. Here are the older birds. Today they're 3 weeks old. I weighed them and they're doing really well. The average weight is 10-13 grams, so it's just over a kg. And at 3 weeks they are supposed to be at about 978 grams. So again, they're doing really well. The lowest weight that I recorded was 821 grams, which is still pretty good. I think this batch is really impressive. We've done everything right, and so far they've really cooperated with us. So I actually, as you can see right now, so what I've been practicing for this 3rd week is that from 12 noon till 4 p.m. because it's very hot in the afternoon, we take away the feed, just leave the water so that they don't get stressed out. There's heat stress which can cause heart attacks. So here we just reintroduced feed. That's why they're scrambling, because they've had that 3 to 4 hour break. This is something I've seen other seasoned farmers talk about, and I decided to practice it because in a prior batch I had a lot of ascites, which is where they have a lot of water in the belly. I think the other word for it is water belly. which leads to heart attacks. It can be really devastating because the birds die when they're like 4 weeks old, which is a huge loss. So we've introduced these afternoon break from feeding between between 12 and 4 p.m. And then at night, so we feed them from 4 to 6, but then we don't turn on the lights until 8 p.m. Starting next week, which is tomorrow, we're gonna extend their dark period, is what they call it, from like 2 hours to 3 hours. And again, the goal is to give them rest so that they can grow muscle. And I believe that's what they're saying, that it helps them develop muscle and basically just have some rest period instead of being awake 24/7. As you can imagine, that can be quite dysregulating. So this is something new we are trying with this batch. So far, so good. The weight gain is impressive. Initially, I was worried that if you stop them from feeding, they're not going to reach the target weight on time. But as you can see, numbers don't lie. It doesn't seem to have a negative effect on it. They are positively responding to this rest period in the afternoon when it's too hot, and the dark time, the quiet time. Think of it as night time, bedtime for them in the evening. But I'll keep reporting. Again, I'm a new farmer. This is my third batch. First one was uneventful. The second one was quite devastating. I've not healed. Once I do, maybe one day I'll share my story about how that batch went. Yeah, but I decided to regroup, take the lessons and start small. My last batch was actually a lot bigger, but I've decided that I'm going to go small until I know what I'm doing, so that, when you have a big batch, yes, the economies of scale are in your favor, but that also goes for the losses. So when you win big, and when you lose big. The other thing that I've noticed that's quite a challenge with broiler farming is market. So it's also recommended that I would recommend personally that you start small unless you have a target market or a ready market. And I know with the smaller batch that I have, it will be easier for me to dispatch the birds. So I'm going to start small, grow my network, build a client base, and also learn how to properly care for, birds. Because these broiler birds, they grow up really quick, but I believe because it's so small, their lifespan is so short, they don't get to develop a great immune system. So the onus is on us, the farmer, to take great care and not expose them to the elements so that they can mature faster and hopefully keep us in business. Until next time, thank you.